I have to apologize so much. This is crazy. Well, unfortunately, I have to say it again, even though it might be a little bit faster, but I have to say it again. This is all my fault. I had a technical problem and I couldn't correct that. And yes, right now I noticed that. So um, I'm going to start again, but a little bit faster. So basically, to access the task manager, you're going to click here and this clock button, and to select, if you want to select the task manager and the user defined fields, that will be with this button. So you can switch between them with this blue arrow back and forth, as you can see here. As I was explaining before, depending on the different level, like advanced level or simpler level, you'll have the ability to have more buttons which add more functionality to everything, but at the same time a little bit more complexity. So and I want to apologize again for that. Well, in order to add a task, I'm going to do it in a different record now, so you have a clean slate here, and you just click the add button right here, and then you can assign it to you or to somebody else. If it is to you, basically you just click the self button, and if it is for someone else, then you select the person and click the selected button. In this case, I'm going to do it for myself, and I'm going to put send contract. So that means this task is a relation between the client or the prospect. So between this and me as an agent, me as an employee, to that is saying to send contract. Then it's possible to add another task, either that you do it or it's going to be done by John Doe, for example, by himself, and this task is going to be ask for payment, ask for initial payment. So what happened now is you can see that John Doe is in yellow because it's not me, it's someone else, and my tasks are in green. I can only see my oldest task here in the right place. So if I'm here in the user-defined fields and seeing the task, I can only see my oldest task. In order to see all the tasks, I need to click the blue button here, the blue icon, and then I'll see all the tasks assigned to the client. Very, very important, this procedure, because you can see the whole picture of all your departments, including you. You may have different tasks for this client, and I'm going to teach you how to create many tasks with one click, which is a unique feature of our software. But for now, we are going to have these two. This one, John Doe, and we can see. So maybe you don't want to send the contract until the person had paid the initial payment. For example, I'm just saying for example. Okay. Now, second thing, how to select tasks. There are several ways, as I explained before. One is to click the pending tasks, and in that case, I have different options here, like self, other agents, all agents, etc. And when I click on it for self, in this case, I selected 4. Okay, so I have 4 contacts who had tasks assigned to me that are due. Okay, so I can see them all in one place, and I'm going to show you that in a couple of minutes. But for now, this is the oldest one. So being the oldest one, in this case, all of them are the same day. But if it was the oldest one, like if it was yesterday, it will be certainly the first one to show. And then what I do is either I need to dispose of this task. How do I dispose of this task? Well, I need to do the action. And when I do the action, either or maybe I don't want to do the action, or I can't. For example, maybe I need to send the contract, but the attorney didn't send me the contract yet, so I don't have it. So maybe I want to reschedule this for the future. So I'm going to reschedule this for 3:30 actually. So you see there is no action, and so it has been disposed. In this case, even though I haven't done it, and the seal is valid, but I want to do it in the future. So that's a way to dispose of the task, is to change the date or to change the time as appropriate. Then, in this particular case, what I would do is to click omit. What I'm going to do to omit, because I want to go, we want to omit this contact, and I want to go to the next one, which is already selected as part of these 4 contacts that I'm doing. And so I'm going to click omit and pretty much go to the next contact. Obviously, I could do and click go next, but I don't recommend you to do that. That is a bad habit, to click in the navigation bar and go to the next. And the reason is because, or also I could click again here and select again the tasks, but in that case it's taking too long and it's unnecessarily. The perfect way is to click omit once you dispose of the task. Another way of dispose of the task is if I do it. So let's say I send the contract, whether it is by email or any other means. I send the contract and then I click done. In this case, when I click done, it will be logged into the history. So it's going to be here, and it's going to be logged saying that the task was complete, and that's it. And still, I will need to click omit to go to the next contact with the task. Or I can also click clear, meaning that this is not meaningful anymore for whatever reason. Maybe already he got the contract, he came to the office in the morning, got the contract, so I don't need to send the contract. So I saw the task. Well, in that case, I would have said done, probably with a couple of notes. By the way, don't confuse the tasks with the notes. The notes is something that you want to keep. Let me delete this for a second, just to have something clean. And the task is something that you need to do, and the notes is pretty much what happened. So if you put your comments here in the task, well, other people are not gonna see the notes in the contact, and it's gonna be for them very, very difficult to know what's going on, because they could see here. But first of all, when you click done or clear, all this will go to the history and not to the notes. So by all means, put the notes, whatever. For example, contract wasn't ready. Okay, so contract was not ready, will send later. So with this little note, which by the way automatically will put the time and date and the name of the agent, with this little note, you avoid, and actually you inform all your company of what you're doing with this client. So this is a very important thing. To dispose. So in this particular case, whether it is by time, by done, or by clear, is a way to dispose of the task, and then you will click the omit and go to the next one, okay, that it was here. So and so on and so forth. So you will always think about disposing of the task. That is essential. Don't leave the tasks without doing anything, because then what you have is a mess, like you have in other software, having a bunch of tasks, and then you need to review constantly which ones you need to do. Here you know that this is the oldest one, or the one that you need to do. And again, if you want to not do it today, or not do it today, or doing it later, well, you will change the date and time. There are ways to do this faster. We're gonna go about that in a few minutes, and how to reschedule something very quickly with one click. But this is the simpler screen, and so I'm teaching you the very, very basic stuff. Now, some people like to see all the tasks. Okay, so that would be in that case you will need to use the list button. Okay, so I'm clicking the list button, and it goes immediately and show you in a multitask view all the tasks. By the way, you can here do other things, and I'm going to show you some, but most importantly, you'll see in white the ones that are due for today, in red the ones that are due for yesterday or before. So in this case is yesterday, and also you can see tasks for the future if you want. So how to do that is part of it. But the first thing that you notice, or that you should notice, is that we can see all the tasks that are due for us. So if you want to, at a glance, to see all the tasks that you have, you can read them here, and you can go particularly to one record just by clicking the Go button. It's very easy to go to a particular record, and there are other tricks that you can do when you return. By the way, you can well, already I selected, so no big deal, but you can also select all the records that are that you have here. So this is important. You can omit some and maybe go and select them all the ones with one click. By the way, right now you see at the top that we have 3, and I'm going to click current only, so I'm going to go to the one that I'm on, and the one that I'm on is the one with the black symbol here. So I'm going to click current, go here, and you see I have 1 out of 1, and I went to the right record. I'm going to go again to the list view to show you more things. You can see it's very, very fast the way that it can find all your tasks. And these tasks are always related to a client. These are not your tasks for a meeting with the doctor, not a task for a lunch. This is your task for to work the relationship of you with the client, and only the one with you in this particular case in the list. But obviously, you can also find tasks for other agents, etc., depending of your level, if you're an administrator, etc. Now, we have the calendar here. The calendar works, is very simple, actually. If you click on the day, right, for example, here, you see self, again, pretty much the same functionality that you had previously, other agents, all agents, self today, etc. Usually is self. And in this case, I find exactly the same, right? Because it's today or older. If I want only today, the instructions are here, so you don't need to memorize anything. The instructions are here. You just click with Shift. So Shift, it will give you the ability to select the ones that are for today. And notice that we have this one, okay, that even if it's going to be in 2 more minutes, still is showing because it's for today. So we're doing all the ones for today. So if you want to know all the ones that are for today, you will click this one. If you want to know something in the future, like for example, what do you have to do tomorrow, I can click with Shift, and in that case, it will give me all the ones only for tomorrow because I click with Shift. And remember, it will give me all the ones for tomorrow. So you have an absolute control of what you want. If I want everything for tomorrow and before, that will be simply clicking without Shift, and I will have all of that. In this case, also including this one, because of course, this one is before tomorrow. So this one is, and this is tomorrow, that's what is in yellow. I can sort it, by the way, by date. In this case, it wasn't sorted by date, but I can sort it by date, and I can sort it by anything that I want, by company. If I click twice, it's gonna go ascending and descending, okay? So I can do that. Ascending, descending. Okay, so going back here, boom, very, very easy. When I want to go back and select, which as I said before, let's say that I only want, let's say that this one I cannot do anything about it, but these 2, yes. So I want to go back and select those 2. That will be from selected. So I click here, I click back before, and I click selected, coming back, have these 2. This is the one that I will take care of before, then I will click omit, and I will dispose of this one by doing something, doing done, doing clear, or changing the date and time. Okay. Okay, so now I'm going to explain a little bit here type of shortcuts and power that we have here before we go even to more advanced matters. Here we have, especially this is very useful when we have tasks that we do for others, but also for this is for you too, to reschedule with ease a task. So even though in the advanced view we have other buttons, and here we can do it too, and I'll show you how this thing works. To reschedule, pretty easy. We have the today button because the task could be old, and we have a tomorrow button, so one day, and we have the 7-day, the 30 days, okay? And here's the priority, so we can change the priority. And then, for example, I'm going to put tomorrow. Okay, if I click again, it's going to go one more day. So now it's 18, right? 18. If I click 7 days, it's going to be 7 days after the 18. So let's see. If I want a week, already I had it on the today. I click 7 days and I have 23rd. But if I click first or after, number 1 is going to go one more day after this. And if I click the 30, it's going to be 30 days over this one. So by doing this in combination, I can do pretty quickly a week, or I can do pretty quickly a month from today, or a combination thereof, like 10 days, that will be 7, 1, 2, 3. That will be coming 10 days. That will be pretty simple. Same thing with the time. In this case, it doesn't have a time. I can click on it and select the time like I did before, or I can, for example, someone says, okay, call me in 20 minutes. Boom. I can click 20 minutes and automatically, actually 30 minutes, and in 30 minutes it will do it automatically, or 60 minutes, and then I can go, changing, call me in 10 minutes or whatever. So I recommend that you see the tooltips. Okay, for example, in this one says that if I click with Shift, it's going to add, you see, 10 minutes every time. And if I don't do it, it's going to do it directly, 10 minutes. Same thing here. I can add half an hour, or I can put half an hour from today. Then, especially useful these things when you're doing it for other agents. Again, also for you. Another important thing that you should know is these buttons. These buttons are shortcuts, and these shortcuts are assigned to you and to you only, meaning that other agent can have a different assignment. So you shift click to set the message, and so you can use things that you use normally. For example, call the contact. So that would be something that probably you do very often. So now number 1 will have call the contact, you see, and you can see it right there. It will place a custom message in the task, call the contact, and it will add it, and it will put your initials. And this is important because if you have a task that it was assigned or is part of a John Doe, okay, you can go to John Doe and say call the contact. So here is kind of saying the order, or who assigned this this message. So John Doe will recognize the initials. I will say, oh, this is telling me to call the contact. So this is very, very useful to save time. You have up to 10 shortcuts that you can use at any time and change it just by clicking Shift. Okay, so that is very, very easy to use. Let me see what other things before entering into really, really more advanced matters. You have other ways to see your task, which I really don't recommend, because even though you're used to see your tasks using the calendar view and stuff like that, okay, right? It's possible to do it. It's possible to do it in a month, in a week, in a day. And I know the majority of you, because of other programs, you're used to do this, but this is pretty bad. It's pretty small. You don't see the big picture. So it's important that you see the big picture, which you can read a lot here. Plus, if you like see something in the list, well, as you know, it's just one click away that you can see everything in a list. Okay, so that's my advice. Let's put it that way. Also, you should know about how to do several tasks with one click. That is a very advanced functionality, but it's very important that you learn how to do it. It's not in the simpler view, so you need to go to your higher view here in order to to do that option. And you see that we have a lot of buttons, as I explained before. Before we had this technical difficulty, I was explaining that in the advanced view, we have many other buttons to simplify our daily work, but also we can omit them, we can hide them by clicking this eye here that will show in the versions that you will get this Monday. There is a new feature that we can hide certain buttons to make it simpler to the eye, and still the convenience is here if you want to leave it that way, like I would do. I would recommend to leave it all the time, you know, and enjoy having these features. So here we can observe several things. For example, one of the things is when you click this button, this little clock here, the program automatically will set up the state, the time zone, and it will tell you the time. Well, I need to put the setup, so I'm going to put my setup here, my area code, okay? So I'm going to put my area code, and that is a must. I forgot. So by clicking this button, it will set up. Oh, it says an invalid area code. So okay, so I'm going to put whatever. I'm going to put 305 555 1212. Okay, so I click on it. 305 112 456. Okay. So when I click here, it says invalid area code. I don't know what happened, to be honest. I don't know what's going on where it says invalid code. Probably the setup is wrong in some way, shape, or form. I have no idea. Okay. Probably this one. And probably that one. I don't know. Let's check. Nope. Had to be something else. Maybe the country is absolutely wrong. So we need to check that. It's probably that. And let's see. Oh, that's why. Control says Taylor. Yep. Okay. So this is correct now. Eastern, Florida, and the time. Okay. All right. So going back to this level, yeah. Sorry, it was garbage that was playing around. And so, but by putting this time zone, automatically is gonna mark the time zone here, and this is important so you don't call people in Vegas at 6 a.m. for example. So you should do your tasks first from Eastern to Central, Mountain, and Pacific to avoid a possible issue with the time. So this is not only you can see it directly, so without having to look at here, so you see that it's in red, whatever is the time zone that you have here. And the time zone is gotten pretty much automatically when you click this button based on the phone number. So maybe the area code before was okay, but I assume that it was, since all these are fake data. But let me see if I can. Yep. Now this is in Central, and it's saying in Florida because of this, but it's in Central, and now you see that is Central there. Okay. So now we're going to show you how to use these buttons. I explained that a little bit before, but I want to, for example, to do 10 minutes from now, click 10, 30, 60, clear the time, which is also possible. Same thing here, the today, with shift will be next day, with control will be a week, which with the shift control will be a month. And you can see in the tooltip how do you do it. I mean, you don't need to memorize it. You only need to see it, and eventually you will memorize it and be very useful. Same thing here. You can find only the tasks with priority 1, with priority 2, and with priority 3. Sometimes useful, even though they will be sorted automatically when you click fine painting. It will be sorted automatically, putting the first ones the priority 1 is going to be first, so it's going to be seen first than the priority 2s or priority 3s for the same day. But being said that, you can do and select only the ones. Maybe you have a meaning to number 2 and number 3 and number 1. You may have a meaning, and then you can select only those. Or you can click here, for example, and say, give me all the tasks for Eastern. And you click here for self, and it will give you all the ones for Eastern. In this case, just only one. The other ones probably don't have the time zone. And if I click for Central, it gave me 0. That means that this task wasn't due. So it's going to be due in the future, so it gave me this. Okay, no problem. Can select all of these again. So I have these 3. The other one, I have it. Oh, yeah, you see, this one don't have. So this one I can put Eastern if I want, or I can put this one Central. And in that case, if I click Central, at least I'm going to have 1, like this. You can see 1 here. Okay. And if I click Eastern, I'm going to have at least 2. You can see it up here. Okay, now, how to do several disputes with one click? By the way, in this layout, before I forget, the list is here because this space is taken by these icons. So the list is here in the show pending tasks in list form. So you have the feature right here. Click on it, go there if you like to use the list. Nothing wrong with using the list at all. Well, the only thing that is really wrong is not to dispose of a task. The task must be disposed every time, whether it is by time, by date, by done, or by clear. Any one of those is okay, but you need to dispose of the task, otherwise you're going to have a mess. And that I've seen it so many times that for being a little bit lazy or any other reason, they don't do it. So don't make the same mistake, do it. And then just click commit to go to the next one, to the next record, like I'm doing right now. And don't use the navigation, because in that case you are leaving the other task, the other contact, not the task, you're leaving the other contact visible, and you don't want that. Because at any moment someone can call you on the phone and then you don't know anymore. But if you dispose of the call by changing the time or changing the date, well, that's perfect, because after you have this call with someone, you can click find pending again, and that task that you have disposed for tomorrow won't be available until tomorrow. And so that way it's going to be perfect. Always try to work in real life, not in something that would be an ideal world, but actually what happens in real life, problems that you have in a daily routine. Now, how to create several disputes, several tasks with one click. Okay, we have this button here. We have these instructions, by the way. These instructions can be seen when you click Alt, press and hold the Alt key, okay? Press and hold the Alt key and then hover. So don't hover first, but press and hold the Alt key and then hover. And then it will pop up the tooltip in a way that you will be able to see it for as long as you want. And also you can print it or copy and put it maybe in some notes in Word, etc. So right now we're going to click, we call it strategy task groups. So we have 10 groups, but essentially you have unlimited. But these 10 groups is a way for you to classify, if you want, in your company, these groups in some way. So let's add one. The way it works is like this. You put a dash indicating that it's a title. So this is just a title, okay? Then we're going to put a plus sign and a number of days from the previous date, sorry, from the previous date. If I put a 0, obviously I don't have anything previously, so this is going to be for today. So for example, I can say call contact, fine. Or maybe I'm going to put send email. That was difficult. And then let's say that now for tomorrow, and remember it's one day after this one. Okay, I'm gonna do call contact. Then the same day, and that's why I put 0, because it's the same day. So the difference from tomorrow is 0. Okay, I'm gonna put send contract, send contact. Sorry for that. And I'm gonna put, for example, send contract. Okay, send contract. And then in 3 more days, I'm gonna put check if a contract was received. All right, assuming, of course, that you're sending it by mail or something. Okay, so here we have 4 tasks, and if you had, and this is applicable obviously to clients or also to prospects, and also if you have, for example, if you buy lists of prospects and you import them, and you have 1,000 prospects that you have. Well, maybe it's not going to be the same type of action, but whatever it is, if you try to do it manually with any other software, well, it's going to be whatever. It's going to be 4 times 1,000 is going to be 4,000 tasks. So you need a month to enter that 4,000 tasks manually. It's going to be really, really a mess. In here, you can have those 1,000 contacts selected, and then click Insert in Found Set, and it will insert 4 tasks in those 1,000 people selected. So you can have 4,000 tasks with 1 click, okay, which is very, very powerful feature. And when you really want to do, I've seen many companies that have 10 steps. You know, that when they have a client initially, they set up. They have already all these, of course. You don't need to type it every time. You can have unlimited. And in this case, this one goes in the group 1, which is, again, meaningless, only that is a way for you to have different groups. So you can have all of them in group 1 if you like, or you can put some of them. For example, you may have the financial type, the initial clients in number 1, the financial types in number 2, the marketing types in number 3, whatever, and courtesy types. So that is for you to decide, or you can click all, select them all. But if you click number 2 here, for example, you see I have none. And if I click number 1, I have only 1, because that is the group that have been selected. So in order to add these 4 tasks to the contact below, I will click Insert. If I click this, it will be inserted in all selected. In this case, I have only 1 selected, so it will be identical, 1 or 1. But normally, you may have several contacts selected, and then so you click this one, and you select if it is for you or someone else. So I'm going to click Self, right? And as you can see, it added 4 tasks. Now, there is something important here. And this task, okay, this is red because it's today. This is yellow because it's in the next 2 days. And this is normal, so it's empty because it is after 2 days. Okay, but important also to see is that these tasks are calculated tasks as opposed to fixed tasks. And the difference is this is going to remain this day no matter what, unless you change it. On these ones actually are going to change in real life. That's why they are calculated. So the calculation is the relationship that they have between each other. So the difference in days that they have between these 2, which is 1, or the difference, which is 0, or the difference that is 3. And of course, 3 plus 1 is 4, which is exactly what we have here. 16 plus 4 is 20. Okay, because remember, this is the difference from the previous one, or to the previous one, the 3 to the previous one. But it works in real life because this is what happened. Let me clear these 2 so you don't get confused. Okay, and I have exactly the same thing with these 4, but this is what happened. Let's say that I do send this email. So, okay, perfect. I click done, and that'll do it. Click done. And now it was here, logged, task complete. Who did it? Who actually clicked on the done? This is the agent that clicked on the done. This is the agent that was assigned to the task, and it says task complete, send email. Okay. Now these ones are the same date, which is what it should be. So it's tomorrow and tomorrow. But if the client comes to the office today, and then we can give the contract by hand, so I don't need to send the contract tomorrow. That means that that this that this date is gonna be today. So I'm gonna click done, and look at what happens. This is 17, this is 17, and this is 20. So I click done here. Okay. This one came automatically to today because this 0 meant that it was 0 difference from the previous date. Or we don't have any previous date, so this one came to 16, this one came to 19. Before it was 20 because it's 3 days after today. And this is really, really important in real life because it also works the opposite. So if I don't do this task, for example, if I don't send this task today, and then I have this task in a fixed date in 3 days, and I see this task and I call the client, it's going to be looking really, really bad that I'm checking if the contract was received if I haven't sent the contract. Okay, so this is definitely an important thing. Also, there are some cases that you want really to produce the same results but with fixed dates, and I have clients that like to do that for whatever reason. That's okay. So you know, this is everything is about flexibility. So I'm going to click again, and if I want something that is going to be on a fixed date, okay. So for example, I can put F here after the 0, and maybe F here. So these two I'm going to leave it kind of calculated, and this one I'm going to put it in a fixed. So that's also possible. It's a matter of putting an F after the number of days. Okay. So I'm going to do it for me, and I create these 4. And if you notice, these 2 are fixed. That means that these 2 won't change date no matter what happens here. Even if I call the contact today or whatever, these 2 will be fixed. This is perfect, of course, when you're talking about a birth date or things like that. This is the perfect scenario. Have to be fixed, of course. And so you can have one strategy group that is for birthdays, for example. So congratulate, so to call for a birthday or something, or you want to send a gift, and then it will have to be every year. Another possibility here that I was noticing, let's see, we can omit, I mean, things here, we can omit. This one is to reverse delete matching snippet. So this is basically to go back and delete these tasks that we have here. So because maybe we made a mistake, and it would be also difficult to delete, so this is a way to delete. These colors here that we have is to change the color of whatever that we have. For example, this one is, you want it in red, so it can be in red. So it's also possible, of course, to grab it, grab the text, whatever, and go to the format and change the color. But of course, it takes 3 or 4 steps, and I'd rather just click one. So I guess that this is kind of a clear, hopefully. I'm trying to see if I have any chats that say otherwise. So, okay. So I think that we are almost here. No, we still have the snippets and this little button here, which is a nice button. I'm gonna explain how it works. This is in the advanced area, so you don't have it in the simpler area, you have it only in the advanced. And this is the follow-up. Usually it's very common that you're going to want to follow up, and it's also very common that you have some notes here for the client, like if the client, how do you get the client, etc., etc. Pretty much a lot of things sometimes. So if you're going to follow up, you can create one task with one click and a text too by clicking this button. You see? So you click that's for yourself, follow up, see notes, pretty much standard text, and then, well, of course, you can change the date if that's what you meant, or the time, or whatever. But or if it was something, sometimes I receive a call and without having any time, I immediately click a follow up. So at least I have it marked, so to speak, to follow up, even though I will go later. So I have the notes and I click follow up without rescheduling. Another thing is this one, snippets. Snippet is very important. It has instruction here how to do a snippet with bold text, text size, and colors and stuff. As snippets, we have snippets in many places of the program. As you can see, the S here. As all these are snippets, which essentially are a way to have a consistent information over and over. This one works a little bit different because we're trying to make it really fast. So for example, I'm going to add a snippets and I'm going to put here, call him and to get credit card. Okay, so now I have this snippet and I'm going to clear this task so I have a clean slate, not to confuse. And so now I can select, call him to select credit card, paste it, and immediately the task is created. So the important thing here is not only the text, but the task is created automatically. So it's a kind of a two steps or two things that have been accomplished with one click. And as I said before, you have the opportunity to use bold text, and etc., red, etc. So you can do a lot of tricks here with the snippets if you want, and make it very useful to enter and expedite and be consistent in what you write, because majority of time, remember, don't confuse tasks with notes, and the notes, put everything that you want. If it is too much, that's okay. In the task, concentrate on what you need to do with this client. And I think it's pretty much everything. I see here this green button, or actually field here, that is going to tell you how many tasks you have. Because, for example, if you are, let's say that I add another task here for self. Okay, so I'm going to put whatever. I'm going to put another. Okay, putting another. Okay, so I have two. So if I'm seeing the user-defined fields and task manager, I can see at a glance that this is the quantity of clients for this client. So if I see one, I know that the one is this one. But if I see two, and maybe this is blank, that means that this content has two tasks from other people that is not me, and I can see them all right here. So that's the usefulness of this. So let me see, reviewing this, I think I have everything on the task manager. I'm gonna wait a few seconds to see if you have any comments in the chat that I can clarify for you. But I believe, honestly, that is pretty much everything related to the task manager. So thank you for your time. I'm gonna put this video as soon as it's ready. I'm gonna put it into lmrwebinar.com so you can see it there. And thank you all. If you want more information about us, you can get it here. Also here we have the different websites that we have. And thank you all. And until next week, wait for my emails, and thanks again.